Hello everybody and welcome to another Minecraft YouTube video. And on this episode, we are going to be playing more in the Survive the Night world. Survive the Night Season 2, Episode 5. Um, yeah. So, basically, I haven't done much right here, but you will see that I have been active between episodes. You can see that my sword is now full durability. I've been quite active, even though it doesn't look like I've changed too much right here. Well, we'll start by going up, what's around the outside. Now we have our little farm and our harvest board, and I just figured I'd do like basically the first harvest, 'cause that's like an important thing, and then every harvest that exceeds the 72 extra on potatoes. I don't really care about the other stuff too much, but I just want to see how many potatoes I can get, so I'll just keep track of if it ever goes above that first harvest. Now, I ran out of gravel while making this path, but eventually this will go over here to where you can see I have a horse. I actually have two horses now. I don't have names for them yet. I do have two name tags, which is nice. But this guy, he's pretty speedy. He doesn't have a great jump though. It may look pretty great, but if you place down like 2 blocks and try to jump over it, well, I mean, he might have a 2 block jump. Uh, yeah, so he has a 2 block jump, which isn't bad, but it could be a whole lot better. I don't know why I'm doing that when I can just jump over the fence. The other guy, and by the way, that guy's full black. This is like the cow horse pattern. I don't know what you call that officially, but he does have a bit of a better jump. And I heard a witch. Actually, yeah. So his jump is about the same, and his speed is a little slower. So I'm gonna attempt to find a better horse at some point. No. I'm gonna attempt to find a better horse, maybe one with like a 5 block jump if I can, which is really annoying. Um, yeah, but I'll attempt to find a better horse. Otherwise, I'll just read those and then hopefully get another horse. Um, but I'll probably wait for a better horse because there's not much point in reading horses just for if they're about the same. I mean, there's a rare chance that they get better, but it is like extraordinarily rare. Anyways, as you can see, I moved bookshelves up here. I don't know if that was, I forget if that was in the last episode. I think it was. But I did also move up this stuff, just the anvil and the chest with, if I do get an enchanted item that I'm not using, it'll be up there next to the anvil and the enchant table ready to use. And yeah, so what I've been doing, I enchanted my bow, and I got my sword to sharpness 3. Now that took probably about 10 levels or so. I actually, quite a bit more. So I already had the sharpness 1 sword from an enchant. That was, I believe, 1 level. Then I had to get another. Sorry about the music was getting pretty loud. But then I had to. I actually didn't get a straight like sharpness 2 book. No, I actually got another sword that was sharpness 2. Yeah, another sword that was sharpness 2, and no, sorry, I had another sword that was sharpness 1. Combined those two swords that I had to get a sharpness 2 sword, and then I made a sharpness 2 book out of 2 enchanted books. I got sharpness 1. And then, so it was combining the first two cost me 3 levels, like the first two swords, and the books were 2 levels. The reason for that is because one of the swords was lower durability, which does increase the price a little. And then combining the book and the sword was a cost of 7 levels, so probably about, I wasn't keeping track, but probably about 15 levels total. And then I also got my chest plate to a protection 2. I repaired my feather falling boots. Didn't do too much to the other armor because it's just pretty standard armor, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, but what I'm thinking is in the next episode, we're probably going to try out like a woodland dungeon, maybe. Um, or, if I can manage to get some like pufferfish for water breathing potions, maybe attempt an ocean monument. Because that guy does have both of them in the village. But for now, I was thinking that we mine. Um, Now, not quite mine. We go into the mine, and we might do some mining if we see something interesting. But for the most part, we're just going to be heading down to the skeleton dungeon, and I'll pick up a bit of gravel here while I'm explaining what I'm doing. Again, going to turn down the master volume a bit so you guys can hear me better. And basically what I mean by this is, well, I need arrows. For starters, I only have like 16. I haven't been using them too much, but if there's a creeper or something near my base and I, don't want a crater, I'll use that just so I avoid any chance of a crater, even a small one. And, yeah. But, how did the staircase go? Well, it's that way now. Spider. Sorry, guys. Allergy season and all that. Now, if I can remember where the skeleton dungeon was, that'd be great. Oh, there it is. So, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this, but I want to turn it into at least like a rudimentary mob grinder. I might as well pick up the chest. Yeah, so I'm thinking of turning this into a mob grinder. So first off, we got to clear out the mossy cobble because it's a very nice building material, and I don't want to leave it here. Probably should have cleared it out of the jungle temple, but I have to take out the floor of this anyways. So, and I believe that this spawns in a 7x7 area, I want to say. Not sure. But I'll make this a 7x7, or 8x8, I guess, so the water flows nicely. Did not want to take out all those. Okay, so I didn't want to take out all of that. What I did want to do, though, is, I'm just going to place these on this. There we go. And, how do I want to do this? Right now it's a 5x1, 2, 5x7. So I guess I'll just push that wall back 2 blocks and end up having to make a new pickaxe. And then this will become a 7x7 with 3 blocks. Yeah, that's 3 blocks above the spawner. And I believe that should encompass all of it. Make another pickaxe. And there we go. So, we're going to be turning this into a mob grinder for 2 reasons. One is already stated, I need arrows. The other, I need experience. If I'm going to be taking any of either the new dungeons or the dungeons that already existed pre 1.9, 10, 11, I don't know if there were any new dungeons in 1.9 or 10, but I don't think so. But if we're going to be taking on those dungeons, I'd like to have at least full prompt 3, well, prompt for protection on all my armor, but I prefer protection 4, and that is not exactly cheap. As far as a sword and a bow, I would like rather strong ones, and I do have the diamond sword that I would like to turn into a very nice weapon. So I think that once I've done this, yeah, that'll be a 7x7 room, and then I think if I mine out the blocks at the bottom over on this side, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, good. So I think if I mine, first I pick off this, I think, I know I'm like saying the same sentence over and over again, sorry about that. If I push this back twice, Um, you know, should probably do that. If I push down these bottom ones twice and then put water in there, then I should be able to just dig this up into a little trench, as such. And then all of the mobs will go down there. And then because as the skeleton spawner, the skeletons will spawn. I think it's possible that other mobs spawn, but actually no, because they'll all be above water. And, mobs have to spawn on solid blocks, with the exception of mobs spawned from a mob spawner. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Well, not really, but kind of. Um, so, yeah. Um, yeah. So, basically, only skeletons will be able to spawn in there, which is very nice because we don't really want anything else. Creepers, I suppose, for their gunpowder, um, can be quite useful in potion making, but I'm not going to be dealing too much in debilitating potions. Um, debilitating being like harming or poison or weakness, I suppose, or slowness. Because those, I mean, they help a little bit, but honestly, I prefer buffing myself than to, cause harm to opponents. And actually, one, two, hmm, hmm. I think I might just push this wall back as well. Um, yeah. Again, I don't know the exact radius of the spawner, um, like how far it spawns. I was going to say that it's a 3x3 area, um, in which case taking out this wall will make it able to spawn mobs in a 3 radius direction everywhere except down, which I don't think it works in, um, including upwards, which is why it's spawns like that. Um, so yeah, gravel just for show, why not? Um, just to mark the trench that these skeletons will fall in. And of course, when this is done, this will all be walled off. Not even like glass windows or anything for an observation chamber, because that would have to be completely dark, and then mobs would spawn, and it's a big hassle. I do, however, have to cover all my bases and keep this well lit, but that's 1, 2, 3, and it can spawn over the trench. I don't really mind; it doesn't do much. Um, so now, if we take out this and then put water here, then it will flow just to the edge of the trench, pushing any mobs in, and then, the trench will condense the mobs again, and I will get to that once I get this water. Um, Yo. Oh. Oh no, I thought that was a way up, but it was just a visual glitch. Oh well. Um, there you go. I get another visual glitch there. The water is flowing, but the water wasn't flowing, so I just used my water bucket on there, because either the water's not in the bucket, and it's there, which ended up being the case, or the water's not there, but it's in my bucket, in which case it would just place the water down, and then yeah. But that creates an infinite source there, which I can just kind of move along, or move along there, and there we go. Now, anything that spawns in this room will be carried down across there and down to. I think I'll actually do this with some signs, so just put that there, put that there, and that there. There we go. And this I'll just put in the middle. And, there we go. And I just find that a little bit funny. Sorry, because they'll be going down here, and then if anything gets to this point, they're basically screwed. Yeah. So basically, this ensures once this is all closed off, Mobs will spawn in here, either over here or over the trench, doesn't really matter. No matter where they go, they will always get pushed down into the trench and then into this one block hole, which will eventually be a hole. Yeah, so if I do it like this, and I put a trap door, the trap door makes mobs think that there's a solid block there and makes them more willing to go down. Um, there we go. And yeah, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Especially if there's multiple skeletons, they'll all push each other even if one gets stuck there. Um, and that just makes, like I said, them more eager. Um, so, yeah. So that pushes them into there. So no matter where they are, they will be getting pushed down into that one block hole. Yeah. So basically now, what you have to do is you have to mine downwards. Not all too eager about this part. You don't have to mine downwards too far for this kind of trap. Um, but I will be taking some more water. And basically what's going to happen is this trap here is going to keep them in here, and I've just gotten myself stuck. Goody. Elite Haxer. Yeah, so I guess that's a bonus for having a trapdoor there, is if you get stuck in that hole when it's being mined out. Um, not too much trouble. Now, ideally you want to take this down about 20 blocks so that doesn't kill them, but it does deal a bunch of fall damage to them, so they're basically one shot. I believe it's 28 blocks to fully kill one. So I'm gonna take it down. Actually, my Y level is like, am I really that low? Wow. Yeah, I am at like Y level 20. So even right now, if I were to take them all the way down, yeah, if I were to take them all the way down, it still wouldn't be able to kill them, which is interesting. Um, and not really, I mean, I don't want to kill them, but I do want to deal a bunch of damage to them. So, I guess there's a couple ways to go about this. Did it again. Okay. So this is the way I'm going to go about it, and I will fill in this side later on, but that's to ensure that I don't, like, mine down. So it's a very interesting strategy. You stand right on the line between two blocks, that if you mine one, you don't fall down. Now, I'm trying to get from, basically you want to get down to Y level 10, I think. No, wait. This is... Let's go to like Y level 12 just to be safe. I don't, like I said, I don't want to kill them. I just want to make sure that yeah, I just want to make sure that they take a whole lot of damage. So they'll end up being here on this block here. That'll be where they land. Then we'll have to make some more torches now. That's cool. That's fine. So now basically what they've done is they're going to fall quite a few blocks. So wait, we're at Y level 20 something. So if I take it down to great, and I left my workbench up there without sticks, without anything. I guess I have you. Should have come more prepared for this. I think if I take it down, ooh, redstone, classy. think if I take it down to here, that'll be good. In fact, even better. Um, so yeah, they'll land down there, actually. Um, there you go. And now we're gonna have, so basically this is all gonna be filled in with cobblestone. And that'll keep them from like escaping or anything. I want to dig this in a nice semi-open area. Um, and then I'm going to go back up and dig a tunnel down. Yeah, again, just using that hatch trick. Darn it. Well, I suppose I can do it this way. A little bit slower, but there we go. And yes, that'll flood the downstairs area, but it's fine enough. A little bit tricky getting out. Suppose I can just, like... Darn it. Darn it. There we go. So I suppose I can just do that. Pick up that. Replace that. Probably would have been the easier way to do it now. If you fall down there, you will take quite a bit of damage. And then, you know, stepping back about 3 things here, and then... Actually, we can do it really so soon as right here. We can make our ladder downward. I want to have some ladders to get back up. So, we can go back up to the surface, practice getting it back and forth, I suppose. Which is a bit of a difficulty. I have had difficulty with it in the past. But I think it's... Oh, yeah, no problem at all. We're gonna want to take that, replace with that. And I mean, we don't need too much. We need, like, just a few ladders. Yeah, so we go up here now. I didn't realize that. Yeah, this cave is a lot steeper than it seems, but the surface is a lot closer than it also seems. You know, the surface is actually, yeah, 70-ish is roughly average, I would say. Again, of course, with land this, like, undulating or moving up and down, it is, you know, average is quite a broad. So many outliers that it just kind of makes average. You know, there's a lot lower places, there's a lot higher places. Yeah, that should be enough. 57 planks. Yeah, that's good. And now, I mean, it was kind of convenient that there's a tree right there. We can enter there, but I'm going to enter in here because that's the way I have been. And then it's actually a pretty simple matter. You can drop down there. No, evade the creeper. We're going to have enough arrows pretty soon anyways, so I can just use them on that. And even with a power 1 bow, it still still takes 2 shots, as it always has. And I think no, I haven't gone the wrong way. That's the way we go. Then round here, just round about. And there we go. So, now we can actually work on digging our pitfall. Well, not the pitfall. We've dug the pitfall. We're just going to dig the ladder now. And this room can be as well lit as I want. I could, like, completely, like, make, like, the walls glowstone and everything if I really wanted to. But yeah, this is basically what it is. I'm actually going to mine out all of this around it. Simply because, well, I mean, I can. But the main reason is that the skeletons still can't shoot me, and this gives me, you know, a little bit of variation, makes it a little bigger. The only thing I can't do is make the ceiling more than 2 blocks higher for the immediate area around it. And I will have to light this up a little bit so I don't just drop down and, you know, uh, so I don't drop down and there's like a, you know, somebody waiting. But I do now have a whole lot of cobblestone. And we can actually start by, first of all, making a crafting table. And this is actually just going to stay down here whenever I need it. I'm going to actually, you know, place the chest down here as well. Make a few stone swords, because that's really all I'll need to farm these guys up. Go. Gonna place them in there. And now we make a whole lot of ladders. That's more than enough, but, you know, ladders aren't bad. Never been great at placing ladders down. There we go. And I could, like, make this thing next to it, like, have the little bucket of water there so you drop into it. But, yeah, there you go. And now, basically, all we have to do is, you know, make sure this place is very well lit. Go up here, and there we go. And now, we make the wall, take out the lights, and then don't fall into the hole. That is the number one thing that we must avoid at all costs, is falling into that hole. At some point we might make a viewing chamber with like twists and turns and doors and such to prevent mobs from getting out. Gonna exit over here. Gonna start at the back, work my way forward so that I'm near the exit when all the lights are gone. And of course, the items will actually give us a fairly good idea of how the mobs will act. And nope. Nope. We gotta get out of here. A to the S to the A to the P. And there we go. There we go. No. This mob trap is just about complete. I'll mine this bit of iron so that we can replace the pickaxe that we used. Yeah. And this is also going to give me a chance to let them spawn a little before we actually go down there now. Again, gonna put a trap door over this to protect it. And this should work. If I stand down here for a little bit, I should start seeing some skeletons fall down. Unless, of course, I've just done this completely wrong. Which is also a very strong possibility. Skeletons are definitely spawning in, which is very good. They're sitting on that trapdoor that is in there. So I'm going to move this trapdoor so that when I break that block, so trapdoor is going to sit on this block, and so that block, and then we have the block below it is the sign. No, this is not. This is at water level, and the block below that is the sign, and then the block below. Yeah, wait, yeah. So that means that if this block is water level, that block is the sign. That block is the hatch, and there There we go. And yes, I know I can barely see the hatch, but oh well. And that now allows them to drop down. The water should still be flowing normally. But now, if we look down here, indeed. And now we just chop, 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 chop. And would appear that they can see me at least partially. So to rectify that, you just gotta place that, that, and that. And there you go. You can hit their feet anywhere in this little room. Yeah, honestly perfect, because now we actually get unlimited of just about everything that skeletons produce. And I mean, it's not terribly far away or anything like that, so just gonna get the chest. There you go. I'm gonna place the chest in the corner so it's not like getting in the way or anything. I'm gonna keep some blocks and such down here just in case. You know, there you go. And you know, just like that, we have unlimited experience, unlimited bones, unlimited arrows, and unlimited rare drops, though of course rare drops are rare, so you can't really bank on getting them. Now we can make this place a little bit higher. You know, actually have a bit of breathing room and not, you know, there we go. Maybe not perfect, but I would say that this is pretty good, and I think we will have to, like, go up and down the ladder to make it work, because, yeah. They're spawning on top of it. Forgot to deal with that. See, if you're doing something like this, you actually have to place a thing on, you have to place blocks on top of it. So that way they don't spawn on top. This is going to be rather difficult. There we go. Now I can break that. And of course, anything that drops in this chamber will end up down below, including the blocks that I just used. So I think we fixed the main problems. There we go. I really shouldn't be using that. You just kind of slurp it up. And, you know, it's just a simple mob grinder. I mean, it's very effective if you have a spawner, and it's, you know, unless it's a spider spawner, this can be anything, and just by really just going up and down, and theoretically I could have like a completely closed off minecart track that just spirals up and down. Of course, it'd be very expensive because I'd have to get the powered rails to do that, and those cost a lot of gold. But if I wanted to, I could just make a minecart track that just takes me up and down, and I just sit in there, and then watch a YouTube video or edit a video, and then it just goes up and brings him down. Or I could just like sit here, and indeed I'll be blocking this off so that really only if I want to get in and out can anything get in and out. I mean, of course, doors can be broken down by zombies, but I actually have a little trick for that. And yes, it does involve hatches. It's a very simple trick. You just go like that. And if you close that and that, the zombies can't get to the door to break it down, and they have yet to be able to break down hatches. If we close off all entrances. Then this becomes a totally and perfectly safe area, ironically right next to a mob spawner. Um, then we just place a door there, place hatch there, and then we're good. Zombie proof. Well, everything proof. Creepers can't explode you through the door. Spiders can't even get in even if the door was wide open. Baby zombies can't sneak through anything. Um, yeah. So, all we have to really do is just kind of sit here a little, go down, and the skeletons start to go down, and would you look at that? A nice amount. I don't know why I'm walking back and forth, but, whatever. Really hate that visual glitch. Happens every time. Um, well, it's not really a visual glitch. Well, if you place down the slabs, it happens because it doesn't detect the light as going through. Um, yeah, but I can just light it up, and there it is. But if I do that, then there's a chance I'll break and it goes away. So there's not really much point. But we already have 35 arrows and 16 bones, and we're at level 11. Really just from like 5 minutes maybe of just kind of, you can just sit here on the ladder, or you can make a little spot for it, so that the skeletons try to get to you, but they never can. And then, yeah. But I prefer the going up and down method. Um, yeah. So you just kind of wait here, they try to get to you, but then they're kind of like bumping into each other and such. And then you just go down the ladder, and there you go. I mean, there are more efficient ways to do this. Like, I could have had the shaft going, like this shaft at the one end with the water going into it, which would be, it would prevent more collisions, especially if I made the shaft go, like only one way. By that I mean, like everything like piles in, like say this is the platform and you have the shaft down there, you make the shaft go on and on so that everything piles into here and then goes that way and then drops into a hole at the very end so that there's no collisions possible. And there we go. Even if you just stand here, skeletons will eventually work their way down. Um, and then just a simple matter of popping them a couple times. And I do think that the reason why the skeletons aren't all dying in one hit is, well, first of all, the cleave. I'm not sure how it works, but I think the AoE isn't the same as the hit. There's a little bit of dampening. But also, some of the skeletons are falling from slightly higher because they're jumping off the top water, and then the other ones are just kind of falling in, which makes, 2 blocks of difference from the higher. Like if they're jumping straight from the upper platform into the hole, then that's, 2 blocks difference because they're jumping up. The other ones, if they're being pushed in, then that's, just, yeah, if we're calling that 0, then that'll be 2. But again, it's a very simple trap. Um, Nothing redstone-y or complicated about it, really. Um, Again, could be more efficient, without the collisions and such, forcing everything to be a certain way. Um, but that's just a very simple trap. I didn't come up with a design myself. Well, I did based on what I've seen before. Like, I didn't have like a schematic open or anything. I just kind of did it as I did it based on my previous knowledge. So I'm sure that that's been replicated, or that I'm sure that I'm accidentally copying something, um, but I wasn't like directly copying a schematic or anything. But with that little foray underground, making a little mob spawner, we're back up during the daytime. And now we have a very good source of experience, very good source of arrows, and a very good source of food because with the bone meal we can just grow, like if we get tired of cooking potatoes and we run out of coal, we can still just keep bone mealing the wheat, which is a bit less food efficient because um, with the wheat plants, 3 plants equals 2.5 food, or if you're using cocoa beans, 2 wheat equals 8 food, or 2 wheat plants equals 8 food because each wheat plant makes 1 wheat, and a but that 8 food has very little saturation. However, if you're going the other direction with potatoes, then a single plant can produce up to 4 potatoes. You plant one in the ground, and then you get 3 to cook, and each of those is 2.5 hunger, the same as bread, but it has better saturation, I do believe. And of course, you can get 3 from one plant, adding up to a total of 7.5, which is slightly worse than if you're using cookies, but because of the saturation, it actually comes out to being much better. Of course, the only drawback is that you do have to take the time to cook it rather than just crafting it. Um, yeah, I mean, you can even eat potatoes raw, but there isn't much point for it. Um, yeah, and of course, with a bigger farm, it's a lot easier to cook up a whole lot of potatoes. You just throw them in with some coal, and there you go. But once again, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do have a little clock now, so apparently it actually just turned daytime. Um, yeah, the sun's still over there, and that's like really convenient. Didn't plan that or anything; it just sort of happened. Um, yeah, but anyways, guys, that'll be it for this episode. Sugarcane's still growing. I'll be harvesting that up. And next episode, we're either going to be doing one or two things. Um, if we have the emeralds, and I think I'm good enough, like I'll be grinding that grinder in between episodes, getting a bunch of arrows and experience. Don't really have to worry about infinity anymore. I can just carry like 3 stacks of arrows and it'd be a drop in the bucket. But if I think I'm good enough, like I think I'm prepared enough, then I'll be just going into the um, I'll be going into the village with the emeralds and then buying one of the maps. Most likely the forest temple, or not the forest temple, but the um, forest mansion, I think it's called. That's the new 1.11 dungeon. And if I don't think that I'm prepared enough, I'll spend that episode and I'll start brewing. I'll probably make an automatic brewery, either using some, complicated redstone contraption, or just having a semi-auto brewery. Now the difference is a fully automatic one has 3 brewing stands. You can do it several different ways, but the one I'm thinking of, you have basically you stick in all the ingredients that you need, and then you place as many as you want. Like if you have like a say a speed potion production line, just for regular speed, I guess. You just place in like a double chest of water bottles with a hopper below it feeding into a brewing stand. Um, well, it would be set up more like either it would be set up like that, or actually, I believe it's actually set up like that to the side to get the water bottles in, and then you have a hopper leading up there to put stuff into it, and then that gives you, um, your water bottles, and you put the nether wart, you get the awkward potion. And here's the thing, with a semi-auto, you have to, well, I guess I'll just finish off the automatic. You put in like, say, you can put in like, you can supply it with chests and hoppers, because you don't need to worry about like specific amounts and patterns and such. Um, you don't have to worry about other stuff, but you can just supply it with chests, and it'll just keep brewing until it runs out of stuff. Um, and then it uses redstone to lock and unlock hoppers, allowing you to move out potions as soon as they're done, get new ones in, so on and so forth. Um, and then what that allows you to do is basically say, I want speed potions, so you put nether wart, we put water bottles in the one chest, you put nether wart in the other one. Well, you'll probably already have the nether wart in it. And then from there, you'll put in the sugar, and then if you want it to be the speed 2, you just put in some glowstone, and then that allows you to just have a ton of speed potions produced without you having to do every step of the way. Um, the semi-auto brewery is a whole lot simpler. Um, basically, um, I think you might be able to have like a dispenser in it to just like put water bottles in automatically. But even if you don't do that, it's basically just a brewing stand with a hopper on top. That's all it is. A whole lot less complicated. But what you do have to do is you have to like be with it every step of the way. You can't just like click a button and have it go, okay, I need to produce X. Um, what you instead need to do is place down, if you want to place the, say you want to brew speed potions, you can only make them in batches of 3 unless you have multiple of them. But each machine can only make 3 at a time, whereas the automatic one, yes, it makes 3 at a time, but it's doing the processes for 9 at a time, and it's also producing as many as you have the storage and supply for. Storage being, the end chest where all the potions go. If it runs out of space, you can't brew anymore because you get stuck. Um, but at that point, you have, at a minimum, a full chest of potions. So, yeah, that's something. But anyways, Um, with the automatic, you would just have the brewing stand and the hopper on top, and you would have to place down the ingredients in the exact order that they go. And then, as soon as you want to brew a new potion, you have to go back and again, you can't double up anything because then it would like feed in 2 sugars rather than a sugar and then a glowstone because the hopper just isn't smart enough for that. But anyways, with the sun setting and this being actually a bit of a longer, well, not a longer, especially considering last week's episode, but it has been a bit of a long episode. We did do some grinding, well, not really grinding, but we did some mob farming, setting up a grinder that we can use for limitless experience food and arrows. All very good, um, especially when we are going to be getting into the enchanting the diamond sword as heavily as possible. Ideally, we want a good level 30 enchant, sharpness 5. Hopefully, we can get that. I do prefer 2 other things because, bosses aren't really affected by smite that much, or bane of arthropods, or really anything but sharpness. So and the bosses are really the ones you have to worry about, not the minions, because, the minions have a reasonable amount of health. So you need the bonus damage against the boss. And then, of course, getting my armor, I'll probably just make a new set except for the Prot 2 and the Feather Flying 2 because those are almost full durability anyways. But I'll make a new helmet and pants, get everything enchanted. Yeah. But anyways, with that, I'm going to say, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day, and if you liked it, like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Once again, this comes out every week, either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And have a nice day. Goodbye.